Hey, good afternoon, this glorious Tuesday afternoon. So, who's here with me? Who is here? Who is ready to grow? Who is ready to learn? Who is ready? Who is here? It's time for growth habits. It's time for us to discuss. It's time for us to learn. It's time for us to be together once again to help ourselves, teach ourselves. Who is here this afternoon? Who is ready? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening from wherever you are joining from, because I know that people join from different parts of the world. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I'm your personal guide on the journey of growth, and I am here live every Tuesday, 12 noon Nigerian time. Most times when I say the time, I forget that some people are not on Nigerian time, and so they don't, realize what time it is where they are. So this is Growth Habits here at 12 noon every Tuesday, 12 noon Nigerian time. So who is here with me? If you're here with me, please let me know who you are and where you are joining me from. It's been such an awesome journey so far. We have truly journeyed. Through these 26 sessions. And today is the 27th session. My God, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. Sometimes I sit back and I wonder, how did we do it? How did we get here? How was it possible that we have done 26 sessions of Growth Habits? How is it that we were able to get to this point? And I'm grateful to each and every one of you that joins live. Grateful to each and every one of you that watch the replay. Grateful to each and every one of you that in one way or the other connects with me right here on Growth Habits. And as I always say, I know you have other things you could have been doing with your time, but you chose to spend that time right here with me. I am truly grateful and truly appreciative of that. So, as we usually do, we like to do a recap of all the things that we have done, all the sessions, but recently, because it's becoming so long, so we cannot recap every single thing. So we recap session by session. And this period, so okay, let me say series by series, not session by session. So this series is on emotional intelligence and emotional growth generally, but we are concentrating on emotional intelligence. So the first topic in this series was just an introduction of emotional intelligence. We tried to tell ourselves, what does emotional intelligence mean? What is it talking about? What does it really relate to? We just did a general introduction, and we agreed that emotional intelligence is our ability to recognize, our ability to interpret, our ability to regulate our own emotions. Yes, and also the emotions of others. And we agree that generally in this part of the world, in Nigeria, in Africa, I think it's in Africa generally, but I'm sure of in Nigeria, we're not in touch with our emotions because, we're always told to grin and bear it, be a man up, and things like that. And we're not expected to dwell in our emotions. We're not expected to experience. I don't even want to use the word dwell because it's not even good to dwell in your emotions. And we're not, we don't allow ourselves to feel things. And when we do feel, we don't understand what we are feeling or why we are feeling what we are feeling. So these are the things we are trying to talk about in this emotional growth, emotional intelligence series. Okay, so after that introductory session, that was session 22. In session 23, we talked about self-awareness as an aspect of emotional intelligence. And we agree that you do have to know yourself. Self-awareness is so important. You have to know yourself, who you are. You have to know what you feel. And you have to know why you feel what you feel. You have to have an understanding of that. That is, self-awareness is basically defined as your ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. Your ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. That is self-awareness. And the next session, 24, was on self-regulation. So now that you've understood your emotions, you've seen why you react or how you react, you've understood why you're even feeling what you're feeling, and you've understood why you react, how you react to the feelings you are having. The next thing is, how do you put those feelings, those emotions, those actions, those thoughts, those words under control? And that is what self-regulation was about. Being able to control these emotions that you've discovered now, these emotions that you've begun to understand. How do you put them under control? How do you manage them? How do you control them? How do you keep them from, overwhelming you? Self-regulation, that was what we talked about in session 24. And in session 25, we talked about empathy. And empathy is our ability to understand another person's emotions, another person's thoughts, another person's feelings. How do we understand and how do we deal with it? And we said that sympathy is not the same as empathy. They are not the same. Sympathy, you feel for the person for whatever they are going through, but you basically stop at feeling for the person. But when we talk about empathy, you don't just feel for that person. You don't just understand why they are feeling, how they are feeling. You go ahead and do something about it. That is empathy. That was our session 25. And that is the third in the series on emotional growth. And last week, we talked about social skills as an element of emotional intelligence. And social skills is the ability to interact with others. Yes, so we can understand our own feelings, understand why we do the things we do, understand why we feel the way we feel, understand other people's emotions, feel for them, help them understand their own emotions and all that. And yet we're not able to interact with people. We're not able to mix with people. We're not able to just have social skills. Then, all the other understandings we have, we're not putting it to practice. That we understand our emotions, we understand other people's emotions, we feel for them, we put ourselves in their shoes, and yet we don't get to mix with those people. We don't get to interact. We don't get to be in the mix. You know that all the knowledge we gained, where are we going to apply it? It's when we mix with people that we'll be able to apply all this knowledge that we have gained, all this knowledge we have gained about our emotions and emotional intelligence. So social skills are very, very key because it's our ability to interact with people. Okay, so today we are going to look at another aspect of emotional intelligence, and that is motivation. Motivation. Now, motivation, I'm not talking about, motivation can be in two parts, as we all know, of course. There's intrinsic, there's internal motivation, then there's external motivation. And This aspect of motivation we're talking about as regards to emotional intelligence is the internal one, the one that comes from within you, not the motivation that comes from outside, maybe from another person, from something someone did, from something someone said to you. We're talking about the motivation that comes from inside of you, intrinsic motivation, internal motivation. And it just means that what is it that moves you? What is it that makes you act a certain way? What is motivating you? What is that internal thing that is shaping basically your actions, shaping your deeds, shaping your words? What is that internal thing? What is that passion inside that makes you do right or wrong, whatever it is? So what is that motivation? What is that internal thing that makes you do things? I noticed, I think recently, I want to believe, I don't know if it's always been there, but when in a lot of, when you apply for jobs recently, I noticed that there's a question they've started asking, and that question is, how do you know what motivates you aside from the salary? Because the salary is an external motivation. The money that you're paid to work is an external motivation. It's something that is outside of you. And they ask that question, and what motivates you aside from salaries? And as human beings, we need to have what pushes our passion, because it's so easy to get discouraged. Things are hard. Anybody that tells you otherwise is not being truthful to you. Things are hard. Things are difficult. And sometimes, it becomes difficult also for you to keep going. When you look around and you see the things that are wrong, you see the things that are going wrong, they have not gone wrong already, and you see the things that are not moving as they should, the tendency is for you to just give up. Why bother? Why stress? What is the need for all this drama that is happening? Why do I need to go the extra mile? Why do I need to do the extra thing? What is the need for it? And if we don't have any internal motivation, we usually give up. And it's never the best. It's never the best. And internal motivation is not just feeling. It's not just feeling. It's not just, oh, I feel like this. No, it's the passion. It's that thing that drives you. That thing that drives you, that thing that makes you want to do whatever it is you're doing, that thing that makes you want to keep going even when things are hard, that makes you want to, just one more day, let me just give it one more attempt, let me just do it one more time. What is that thing? What is that thing that fuels your passion? That is eternal motivation. Or do you even have that at all? For some of us, we truly don't have that thing inside that makes us just keep going. We count on the things that are outside. We count on what our father would say. We count on what our mother is doing. We count on what that coach is doing. We count on what our pastors are telling us. That is what gets us going. That is what makes us wake up in the morning. That is what makes us, let me just take that one step. Let me just go forward. But the day that your pastor is not there, what happens? The day that that's your mentor, that's your coach is not there, what happens? The day that your father, your mother, whoever it is not there, what happens? What happens? What motivates you internally? What makes you want to just keep going? What is it on your inside What is it on your inside that makes you take the extra step? That makes you do the extra thing? What is it? What is that thing? That is the internal, intrinsic motivation. And do we have it? Can we truly say that if our parents were not there, we had no mentors, we have no coach, our pastors are not there, our priests, those people that we look up to, if they are not available, can we truly say, yes, I will still keep going? Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ngozi. Welcome. Glad to have you this afternoon. Can we truly say that we can keep going? Good afternoon and welcome, Chikodu Keja. Glad to have you. Glad to have you this afternoon. So can we truly say that if the coaches are not there, if the mentors are not there, if the parents are not there, if the pastors are not there, the priests, they are not available, they are not there, can we still keep going? Can we still achieve what we need to achieve? Can we still move forward with our lives, with the things we need to do, with the plans, the goals? Can we still move ahead? Do we even have those goals in our inside? Do we really have that push in our inside that will make us keep on going no matter what? No matter what. That is internal, intrinsic motivation. And this is what makes us, when we are not feeling our best, when things are not working as they should, when people are not reacting the way we expect them to react, when people are not doing what we expect them to do, is that internal, intrinsic motivation that will keep you going, that will make you, take the deep breath, that will make you just take that extra step, that will make you stand and say, okay, I can do this. I need to do this. I need to move forward. I need to achieve this goal. I need to go beyond where I am. I need to go to the next level. I need to step up. Is that internal motivation? Is that intrinsic motivation? That is what gets you there. And it is essential because we can understand our feelings. We can get in touch with our emotions and understand why I feel this way, and understand the things that triggers, these emotions, and understand how these emotions affect others, and understand how others feel and what is it that triggers their own, and be empathetic towards others and be able to help. But if we don't have intrinsic, internal motivation, we can only do that for a while. And then we lose hope. We get tired. Because life happens. Life happens. Things go wrong. Things don't work out the way we expect. They don't always. This is not me being a sadist. No, this is me being realistic. Sometimes things don't work out the way we expect. Sometimes things don't go as planned. So what do you have that will make you stand in those times? What do you have that will make you want to keep going? What is it? What is that passion inside? What is it? Do you even have it? Does it exist with you? With me? Are we able to give ourselves the pep talk we need when we need it? See, because we all need pep talk at one time or the other. We all need it. We all need a pep talk. Can you give yourself that pep talk? Or do you have to wait for your coach to give it to you, or your pastor, or your priest, or your leader, or your mom, or your dad, or whoever? Or that's your friend? can you give yourself that pep talk? Internal motivation, as it relates with emotional intelligence, is your ability to give yourself that pep talk when you need it. It's your ability to pick yourself up when you're down. Your ability to tell yourself the hard truths. Because if you don't tell yourself the hard truths, I don't know who you're waiting for to tell you. Yes, we have people that can't tell us, the hard truths. We have them. But we also need to be able to tell ourselves these hard truths. We need to be able to pick ourselves up and say, you know what? I can do this. You know what? I am able to achieve this thing. You know what? This is not above me. This is not beyond me. I am able. I am capable. We need to be able to sit ourselves down and tell ourselves, the people who are doing this, they don't actually have two heads. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve in life, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, or, the other people who are doing it, they truly do not have two heads. They have one head just like you. There is nothing spectacular about them. Sometimes we put people up on such a pedestal, other people, those people that we admire, those people that we follow. We put them up on such a pedestal that we ourselves are not able to reach them. They don't have two heads. Those people that are achieving those things, they are not different from you. God did not create them and give them one special ability to achieve. No. They told themselves they had truth. They did the hard work necessary and they moved. So we all need to be able to tell ourselves the hard truths when it is necessary, to buckle up our belts when it is necessary, to tighten that belt when it is necessary, and to do the difficult things when it is necessary. But this has to come from the inside. You can't always depend on someone else to ginger you, as we say in Nigeria. Doesn't always work, because they also have their issues. They also have their problems. There's no one person in this world that is immune to issues, to difficulties, to challenges. There is no one. We all have them. What sets one person apart from the other is your ability to pick yourself up when things are hard and to move forward. Mike Gopeni, welcome. I'm glad that you joined me this afternoon. So, what is your internal motivation? What fuels your passion? What fuels your passion? What makes you want to keep going? Recently someone was telling me, well, not directly to me, but I was privy to that discussion. She was talking about, she does therapy and things like that, and that she finds it difficult to charge people for it. And she still keeps doing it. She's still, dishing out the counsel, helping people here and there, being of value to people. And she's not able to charge them for it. I know people were advising her, you have to know when to begin to put a fee to some of these things. This is your hard work, this is your sweat. But something she said as she was trying to give her reasons for not charging is what I want to bring up to us this afternoon. She said that she gains such joy from seeing that someone is helped. There is this, she can't explain it. There's just this euphoria that envelopes her when she has helped someone, she has seen someone overcome something. That is internal motivation. That is internal motivation. So it's not, people are not paying her, so it's not the money. It's not the money. It's not because pastor said, it's not because my mother said, it's not because my father said, it's not because my mentor said, it's not because my coach said. It's because this thing she's doing, inside of her, there is a passion for it. Inside of her, there is a push from the inside to keep going. Now, I'm not saying that she should not monetize this, her talent. It's not where I'm going. I firmly believe she should monetize it. But even as it's not being monetized, she keeps going. She's not becoming discouraged because, money is not coming from this as it should. The fact that people are not paying, the fact that people are pricing, when she even bothers to give a fee, people are like, oh, can't it be lower? Is it not too much? That is not causing her to be discouraged because she is motivated internally. The passion, the push, the verve, the ginger is coming from her inside. It's not coming from anywhere outside. It's not coming from 10 steps to do, no. It's not coming from a pep talk from anybody. It's coming from a pep talk she gives herself. It's coming from her inside, coming from a place of passion. What are you passionate about? What can you do even if you are not paid for it? What can you do even if nothing seems to be coming out of it? I'm using the word seems with quotes. What is that thing that you can do even if no one recognizes it? No one is seeing it, as in, not that they are seeing it, of course, because you're rendering this service, you're giving out this value. People are benefiting from this value, but they don't seem to value it. How do you keep going in that situation? How do you keep going when no one else apparently recognizes your value, recognizes the value you're dishing out? Ifesi Irene, good day, you're welcome. Glad that you joined me this afternoon. So what is it that will make you keep going? That is intrinsic motivation. The ability to sit yourself down, tell yourself the hard truths you need to hear, and pull yourself up by the belt buckle or whatever, and keep going. The ability to derive joy, to derive joy is better. Happiness doesn't even fit. Joy from doing things that appear thankless, for doing things that appear as if people don't recognize it. For example, you work in an office. This has happened to me severally. You work in an office and you're giving your best. This is not the one that you're doing haphazard, job, or you're working half-heartedly. No, you're actually giving your best to that job. You're doing all you should do. You're even going the extra mile, and nobody notices. In fact, as far as your boss is concerned, you're not even a serious person. Just finding fault with everything you do, even with it, everything is finding fault. Your colleagues, they are not seeing this value that you're dishing out per minute, per second. What would make you continue in that job? Is the intrinsic motivation you have for being in that place. What is your purpose for working in that office? If you don't have that, you'll be discouraged. All the negative inputs coming from your colleagues, coming from your boss, will weigh you down. And before you know it, you're looking for a way out, even when it is not time for you to go out. Before you know it, you're pushed out. And probably pushed out of your purpose. I'm not saying that that job must be your purpose, but it could be. It could be. but you have not found the internal passion for that job. You've not even known why you're there. If we remember one of the sessions we talked about, when we're talking about career, you need to know why you are there. Why are you in that job? Why are you working there? What is the purpose for which you are in that place? Why are you in that business? What is the reason? What is the purpose for being there? When you know these things, when you understand this, then you will be internally motivated to give it your best, even if no one recognizes it. I keep harping on this point because most times people will not recognize your efforts. Let's not deceive ourselves. Sometimes, yes. But a lot of times, nobody will recognize your efforts. Kelechi, welcome. Uzo, welcome. Glad to have you this afternoon. Yes. Many a times, no one. You know, there's a saying, they say you have to blow your own trumpet. Nobody's blowing that trumpet for you, really. Most times, nobody. You have to be able to toot your own horn. And for you to toot your own horn, this is not bragging. This is not you bragging, making noise about your abilities. This is you telling yourself the truth. It's giving yourself a pep talk and helping you to step up when it's necessary, and helping you to do the deeds that are necessary without being discouraged. Like I said, I've worked in many places that I know I'm putting 100%. I know it for a fact. Few people around notice that you're putting the 100%, but nobody is saying well done. Nobody. Rather, everyone is, finding faults with it. Everyone is, what is Ngozi this, Ngozi the other, Ngozi, and in your head, you're like, what is happening? Why all this? But if you were there just to earn a salary, you will leave. You will leave. Or even if you stay, you'll be unhappy. But if you're there because you know that you have something to achieve, you have something to do, you have something to give, you have a value to dish out, you will remain and you will be happy even in the midst of all the negativity. I'm not saying we should remain where negative vibes abound. We shouldn't remain in a place where we are not valued forever. No. That is not what I'm saying. But what will get you through that season, what will get you through that period, is your internal motivation. Why are you there? Why are you there? What is the passion? What is pushing you? What is on your inside that makes you wake up in the morning after, all the negative words of yesterday? What makes you wake up today and move forward? What makes you, even as you're going through that day, even as, in the midst of the negativity, what makes you be able to shake it off? That is your internal motivation. That is your internal motivation. And if you lack this, as they say, you're toast. You're finished. Because you will burn out. You will burn out. One of the places I worked, I came close to this burnout. I came this close to burnout. As in, this close to it. Because I was fed up. I was done with all the negativity. I was done with all the, you're not doing well. What is wrong with you? You're not fast. You're not this. You're not the other. I was this close to burnout. But what kept me is that I knew By the time I took that job, I knew why I was in that place. I knew the impact I had to make in that office. I knew that I had people I needed to touch. I knew that I had people I needed to teach something. That is all that kept me on. The salary was nothing to write home about, so it was not the money. And because I knew I had this, I kept going. Will I say insisting or ensuring that those people I needed to teach, I was teaching them. Those people I needed to touch, I was touching them, even while going through this period of doubt, self-doubt. It was that understanding of why I was there that kept me going. So what is your internal motivation? What is your intrinsic motivation? Why are you where you are? In that office, in that compound, in that general neighborhood you live, in that church. Why are you there? In that business that you're doing, in that place of, why are you there? Why are you there? Is this understanding that will help you make it through? Okay, so there are 4 elements of motivation. I've gone completely off script. I've taken off in a different tangent from what I had prepared to talk about, but I believe someone is being helped by this today. Major, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what are the 4? There are some 4 identified elements that make up motivation. And these 4 identified elements are: 1, the personal drive to achieve. The personal drive to achieve. Are you just, let's just make it. Let's just get through today. It's just a job. Let me manage. Let me just try. It's just a way to have an income. Let me just, is that where you are? What is your personal drive to achieve? What fuels your waking up in the morning and going to work? What fuels your waking up in the morning and going to your place of work? What is your personal drive to achieve? The desire to improve, the desire to keep to a certain standard. What is it? This is part of what makes up your internal motivation. When you can figure out what is your personal drive to achieve, then what is your commitment to goals? Are you even committed to, do you have goals? Let's start from there. Do we have goals? And what is our commitment to achieve the goals? Now, I tell people in my mentorship class, when I give them assignments and they don't do it, and initially I would be upset, true. I would be upset in my spirit. I'm like, I'm taking my time, I'm invested in these people, and small assignments they will not do. Small. I don't even give big assignments. And some of them will come up with, oh, this, that, the other. These are just excuses. I'm not saying the excuses are not valid, but they are excuses. Because if I truly place a value on something, personally, I don't know about any other person, if I truly place a value on something, I will make out time for it. Even if it means I don't sleep. I cut off 1 hour from my sleep and devote it to that thing. I will do it because I value that thing. I also have a mentorship I belong to. And we are given books to read. And sometimes, life happens. I don't read the books when I should. And then suddenly, there's an announcement, book review next week. I've even had one that the book review was like 2 days away. And I've not opened the book one day. I have not read one letter out of the book. But because I can't miss that book review. I can't. I set up a goal for myself that by the next day, I finished that book. By the next afternoon, I've submitted my review before the deadline. So I've set it as a goal, and I was committed to it. As in fact, my earpiece was always in my ear. As you're talking to me, I'm listening to this book. At that period, people were like, "Ma, hey, are you here?" People used to ask, "Are you here with me?" Because it was clear that truly my attention was divided at that time. I would not lie and say I was able to manage it and nobody knew. People could notice. But I had to read that book. I had to. I gave up sleep. Truly, I gave up sleep some hours to ensure that by that next day I had finished reading this book. By the next afternoon I had submitted my review. I was the first. Funny enough. Because all this while people were giving their updates, and people had read this book more than me. Some people had gone like 80% by that 2 days to the review deadline given. Some people had actually finished the book, but yet I submitted my review first because I had a goal and I was committed to it. Now, most times when I'm given such books to read, what I do is I have a timetable and I assign blocks of time, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I assign blocks of time to read that book. It doesn't matter how busy I get. So, this thing they say, you can either make excuses or you can, make progress. You can't have both. You can't make excuses and also make progress. It's not possible. So have a goal and commit to it. What is your commitment to achieving goals? This is what makes up your internal motivation. What is your commitment to achieving goals? The next thing is, are you a person of initiative? Are you ready to act on opportunities? Or what is your readiness to act on opportunity? Let me even put it this way. What is your readiness to act on opportunities? These are the things that make up your internal motivation. These are the things that make you keep going when you don't feel like, when every other thing is telling you, there's no need, just give up on this. Take the L. So that's how they say it. Yeah, take the loss, take the L and move on. But your personal drive to achieve, your commitment to goals, and your sense of initiative, your readiness to act on opportunities, these are the things that will make you keep going when it looks like you should just take the loss and move. And finally, the last, I believe that's the last aspect, yes, of motivation, according to the experts, is optimism. Optimism, your ability to see the good always. That one is hard. That one is hard. Your ability to see the positive. Your ability to keep going, to keep pursuing, to keep moving. Your resilience. Your ability to see the end. To be able, to see the end. To see the end and keep going today so that you get to that end. The combination of these four things that I've mentioned, your personal drive to achieve, your commitment to goals, your ability to see opportunities, and your readiness to act on opportunities, and your optimism. These four things make up your internal motivation. And if you can truly have these four things in you, I don't want to say nothing will ever get you down, because something will still get you down. This is life. Something will still happen that you are like, what just happened. But with these 4 things on your inside, you're able to get yourself together and move forward. You're able to move on when everything else is telling you to stop. When everything else is telling you to give up. When everything else is telling you that is enough, you'll be able to move on. We're talking about internal motivation as an aspect of emotional intelligence this afternoon. Internal motivation. So how do I now, okay, already my internal motivation is already low. I've assessed myself. I have 0 to none. What do I do? How can I improve on my motivation? What are the things that I can do to help myself be more motivated? One thing that I can't count the number of times this has helped me personally, is to celebrate my wins. No matter how small. Celebrate your win. There is this thing that happens when you celebrate a win. You kind of develop I can do this. I did this one. Is it not me that achieved this? Is it not me that just crushed this goal? It's me. And if I can crush this one, I can crush the next. But if you don't celebrate your wins, no matter how small, please, my sisters, my brothers, my fellow journeyers, celebrate your win, no matter how small. It doesn't matter how small the win is. Celebrate it. The endorphins, I believe that's what they are called, these feel-good hormones that come with celebrating wins will propel you to the next goal and to the next achievement. One of my other people in my mentorship group, when I asked them to do an assessment of their Q1 to Q3, what have you achieved? Because at the beginning, they had a personal development plan. Assess for me your Q1 to Q3. What have you achieved? And then prepare your Q4. Q1 and Q2, sorry. See me, I've jumped to Q4. See where I've gone far in my head now. So Q1 and Q2. Assessment of Q1 and Q2. And then prepare your Q3 and Q4 plans. And, she came to me and she was like, Ma, I not achieved anything. I'm like, from January to today, as we were talking, you've not achieved anything. It's not possible. I know you have achieved something. Ma, she has not achieved anything. All the things she wrote down, okay, no problem. Take time. Just take time for me today. Take today. Rewrite that or bring out the plan, the PDP you did, personal development plan for January. Bring it out. Bring it out for me. Then go line by line, because we had specific headings that you had to write something about. Pick the first one. I opened it on my laptop as we were talking because it was a WhatsApp call. I said, okay, first one, read it out. She read. What have you achieved there? She was like, oh, okay. No, she mentioned one small thing. I said, okay, all right. Is that not an achievement? Did you not do that? Is it not you? Was it me? Is it you now? She said, okay, well, that one is just my son. No problem. Just write it on the column for the things you have achieved in the first half of the year. She said, okay. I said, all right. The next point. She listed a couple of things under there, and it's like, Ma, you see, I didn't. So I'm not arguing with you whether you did not. Read that again. Is there nothing at all you achieved there? She read it again, and she realized that she made some. They look small, the progress. They look small, but there is progress nonetheless. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Sometimes I'm tempted to call you. Call you the other name. Welcome, Sir Chooks. I'm glad you're here. God bless you, sir. Okay, so, by the time we went line by line, she was amazed. at what she had achieved in 6 months. They are not mighty things. They are not earth-shaking, earth-moving achievements, but they are achievements nonetheless. When you begin to celebrate your little wins, the small wins, they add up. They add up. And like I said, the endorphins that flows your system when you see that, oh, I did that. I did that. This is not taking, we're not trying to be egomaniacs. No. This is not stroking your ego. No. This is you celebrating the little things you have been able to achieve. Don't allow all this social media hype of people claiming, where's the one I saw the other day? I started my first restaurant with 1 grain of rice. Forget those things, I beg. Forget those things. Social media most times not real. I hope we know. Oh, I made my first million with saliva. Man, really? Those are exaggerations, but these are the things we see. We see people apparently achieve, great, awesome things that seem superhuman. And we are now intimidated. Why? Why are you intimidated? It's because you have not sat down and seen the little wins that you can chalk off for yourself. The little things you can tick for yourself and say, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. So celebrate your little wins. It is a way, it will strengthen your internal motivation to do things. Celebrate your small wins. Focus on setting small, measurable goals. When we set all these massive goals, have the massive goals, in front, but break them down. I've tried to get this into the head of my, my mentorship group. It's not about the big goals you set. No, break them down to, I've set this goal for the year. So each month, what am I going to achieve? What am I going to do each month in order to lead me up to the bigger goal? Once you have broken it down to months, every week, what do I have to do? By the time you break them down to every week, every month, what do I have to do? See, when you break things down into little parts, little bits like that, they're easier to achieve. And when you achieve those little ones, you see where celebrating your wins comes again. You see that, oh, I have a goal that every day, for example, you want to make sure that every month you read 2 books. Good example. I want to read 2 books every month. So it means that every day or every week, let's go down to weeks, every week I must read a certain number of pages of a book every week. Then you break it down further. To achieve that weekly goal, it means that every day I need to read certain number of pages. This also applies to spiritual things. I want to read my Bible in 1 year. We all have that goal. I don't know how many of us don't set that goal every year. I must go through the entire Bible in 1 year. Excellent goal. Perfect. To achieve that, what do you have to do every month? What do you have to do every week? What do you have to do every day? For you to read the entire Bible in 1 year, it means that probably every day you need to read 2 chapters. Put it down that way. The whole Bible is big, but 2 chapters looks more manageable, or 1 chapter, however you want to do it, is more manageable. So break your goals down to smaller bits, more achievable. You will have more wins along the way, and you'll be more motivated to do more. Oh, time is flying. Then once in a while, challenge yourself to increase your motivation. Once in a while, challenge yourself. Do a 30-day challenge for something, whatever it is. Do 5 days, 7 days. I do this thing once in a while. I do a journey into scriptures. And I try not to make it too long because, people's attention span these days is Another story, very small. So I try to do 1 week journey into scripture, 2 weeks journey into scripture. Last time I did 1 month, and I saw that the 1 month wasn't as effective as the ones I've been doing 1 week, 2 weeks. That is where we take a portion of the Bible. Maybe we take a chapter or a book of the Bible, whichever one, and we spend 7 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. And the idea is not to read the Bible. See, this is not a Bible reading challenge. It's a Bible meditation challenge. So you read the portion of the Bible that we have for that day. Each day, I will tell us the portion we are to read. You have to read it in a minimum of 2 translations of the Bible. Minimum 3 if you are able. Reading, it's not allowed to read in 1 translation of the Bible. Now, after reading it in the morning or whenever you have chance to read it, you must meditate on what you read throughout that day. Then in the evening, you come and tell us. Don't come and tell us what you have known about that portion before. That is not what we are looking for. What did you, in the period of reading it and then meditating on it, what did you gain? Because see, God must speak. There is no way you will read a whole portion of a Bible 3 times in 3 translations of the Bible and God not say anything to you. And then you meditate on it throughout that day, thinking about the things you read. And then by the end of the day, you didn't hear anything. It's an impossibility. So it's a challenge. Do such things. Introduce challenges. Doesn't have to be with the Bible. I just give an example of one that I do. It can be of anything. When you introduce those challenges, 7-day fasting, for example, you want to fast for 7 days, or I want to ensure that I read a book a month. That is a challenge, actually. Introduce it once in a while. Something different from your normal everyday activities, the normal everyday things you achieve. Introduce challenges. It will help your motivation. Then find an accountability partner. Let me end it here because our time is almost completely up. Martha, welcome. I'm so sorry, I didn't even see. I just saw your name pop up now. Welcome. I'm glad you joined me this afternoon. So find an accountability partner. What an accountability partner does for you is that you have someone that will be like, because you didn't read, or have you read the portion you said you will read? There was a young man, honestly, this young man, I'm like, God, I need to find ways to appreciate this young man more. He believed so much in me, I don't even know why anyway, but there was a period he made up his mind to read certain number of books in a month. And by himself, he came to me and he was like, I want you to help me. I want to ensure that I read this number of books in a month. And so I said, okay, no problem. I can, be your accountability partner for this reading. But what I need you to do for me is I need you to do like a schedule of how many chapters you will read every day. Each book you want to read, you tell me the name of the book, the author, then the plan for reading that book. Every day you're supposed to read 2 chapters or whatever. Then at the end of each week, you will get back to me. WhatsApp, however you want, email, however. But I need to see that you read those chapters. I will not call you every day to check on you. That was not part of that particular accountability partnership, but I felt it would be easier to do it weekly, because if I tell him to come back to me every day, it might become burdensome. So at the end of each week, he had to come back to me in writing. It's not telling. I don't want to tell me. In writing. You write for me how many chapters you read of that book and what did you learn from those chapters you read. By the end of the month, you should have finished the book. You come back to me again and tell me, I finished the book. This was generally what I learned from this book. Then we move on to the next book. So this helped both of us, honestly. It helped both myself and him, because he read books that period. This young man read books. And of course, sometimes he'll be like, I'm so overwhelmed. I said, please calm down. There is no law. It's not cast in stone that if you don't read the 2 chapters you agree today, the world will end. But most times he pushed himself. He read the 2 chapters and he read the 2 books per month, and he kept to it. So find yourself an accountability partner, someone that will help keep you accountable for the things you want to do. It is a great motivator on both sides. Like I said, it helped the young man because he read those books, because he knew he had to come to me. And I would not just say, oh, you didn't finish, why not? If you did not complete the 2 chapters, I need to know why. What kept you from not reading the 2 chapters a day? So that at the end of the week you're behind. What happened? And when I ask you what happened and you tell me, you yourself will judge yourself. I'm not even ready to judge you. You yourself will judge yourself and know whether you were just giving excuses or truly it was not possible to achieve these 2 chapters. So it helped him because he read books that period. It also helped me because I was challenged by this young man. Like, if this young man is reading like this, why can I not read too? Why did I lose my own, reading abilities? I used to be an avid reader. It helped me. I also picked up and began to read more. So, wow, time is so far gone. With that, I think I will end there. No need to look at all the other things. I think I have passed across the message. I think I want to believe that I've said what needs to be said on this topic of motivation, internal motivation, as it relates to emotional intelligence. I hope that I've helped someone today. I hope that I've given you some kind of direction. I've given some kind of value to you this afternoon. And once again, I want to thank each and every one of us that joined me this afternoon. I'm so glad that you chose to spend your afternoon with me. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. For those that will watch the replay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you always choose to spend this time with me. Once again, this is Growth Habits with Ngozi. I'm your personal guide on the journey of growth, and we go on this journey together. Don't forget to put in the comments your learnings, what spoke to you, what ministered to you, if you want to use that expression. What did you learn today? Because the aim is always to learn every time. Okay, so the link to our YouTube channel is also, I think it should be showing on this live session. The link to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Please subscribe to that channel. And also, I believe it should show stars. We should have stars showing on this live session. Please click on those stars. As you click on those stars, Facebook will begin to pay us. You see, Growth Habits is moving to its permanent site. Will begin to pay us for. Okay, you watch the replay, Kelechi, no problem, no problem. So, as you click on those stars, Facebook will begin to pay Growth Habits. You see, we are moving to this permanent site, and we are moving quickly. So please click on those stars if you can see them. Click on them, click on the stars. Every time that I'm live, those stars should appear. And I think also on my reels, but I will confirm that. Click on the stars so that Facebook will let's begin to share in Mark Zuckerberg's wealth. Yes, let it begin to come to us. So click on the stars if you see it. And remember to join our group. Yes, the Growth Habits Facebook group and Facebook page. Like the page, join the group. We're also on Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi, on YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi, on TikTok. Good habits. Because we are everywhere. We are everywhere, yes. We are going to reach the ends of the earth with the message of growth. Thank you for joining me once again this afternoon, and have an awesome day. Bye.